today at 5.
And good morning. A fire in Myrtle Beach has turned deadly. This is video from the scene. We'll have the very latest from overnight.
And I would like to have a different ending to this other than my death, because I don't like this situation. I'm just going to say that.
And those are the words of a man accused of killing 2 people in South Carolina. We're taking you inside the bond hearing to hear what the victims' families have to say.
Nearly 3 million tons of electronics are tossed out every single year in the U.S. Coming up in just a few minutes, I'll let you know how you can get rid of yours safely.
But first, you're going to step outside and say, it looks like it rained. And it has. We had showers race through in just the past couple of hours, now moving offshore, leaving behind a couple stray sprinkles on the north end. We had some rain blow through. Now it is moving through Longs, Highway 57, Little River. You're going to get clipped by some showers as well as another little batch of showers moving quickly through Boardman across the border belt, and it's going to continue to race out of the way. Other than that, we are starting to look a little rain-free, but notice we've got another batch of rain on the way. More showers are going to develop as we head into the evening hours. Our rain risk for today at almost any point is going to be about 20%. I'll have more details on a soggy forecast coming up.
Marla, thank you. We have an update on breaking news that we first brought you last night at 11. This is video from the scene that killed 1 man in Myrtle Beach. Crews are working to determine what started a fire in a home there. We now know that there are 4 apartments in that building and that it was contained to one of them. The Myrtle Beach Fire Department responded to the scene.
Right now, we had an apartment fire located on 36th Avenue North. The apartment was extensively damaged and did result in a fatality.
The county coroner hasn't released the name of the man who was killed because the family lives out of town and they have not been notified. That information expected to come later today. We'll, of course, update you both online and on air. It's time for Christmas lights to come down and that tree to be tossed out, but recycling your trees isn't always the only thing to go green.
No, it's not. Katrina Helmer is live at Best Buy in Myrtle Beach this morning with how to safely get rid of old technology. Katrina.
Well, if you just got some new electronics for Christmas, or if you're trying to just clean house of the old technology, do Mother Nature a favor and make sure you do it responsibly by recycling. Now, according to the Environmental Protection Agency, Americans alone throw away 2 to 3 million tons of electronics every year. And the toxic waste from all of those gadgets causes damage to our soil and water and can eventually affect our health. So as you go to recycle, you want to make sure you're doing it through a responsible processor. You can't just toss that old computer in the recycle bin and put it out to the curb. Stores like Best Buy and Staples offer programs to take back old gadgets and recycle them. They'll reuse or resell anything that still works. Then if it can't be resold, it may be stripped for parts and can be sold separately. And whatever is left will be sent to a vendor to be broken down and destroyed. And this isn't just for laptops or computers we're talking about. Smartphones, printers, TVs, and game consoles as well.
It doesn't decompose. It's not good for our environment. So it's very important to do the right thing and recycle the electronics.
Now, Best Buy asks that you just take 5 items at a time to them so they can handle it all at once. And Horry County recycling centers will also take your old technology to be recycled. Reporting live in Myrtle Beach, Katrina Helmer, WMBF News.
Katrina, thank you for that. Just about 5:04 on this Friday, and the Horry County Police Department will have a new tool to protect you. Representatives tell us they're adding a Cayman heavily armored vehicle. The addition made possible through a military property trade program. They'll be holding a press conference to introduce you to what they're calling Rescue One. That's going to happen Monday in Conway. And we are working to learn if a man is in custody after a deadly shooting in the Living Room nightclub in Mullins. Police say they have identified a person of interest, but they have not released that name. Early Thursday morning, officers were called to the nightclub. When they got there, police found Keith Broom shot in the head. The county coroner says a single shot killed him, and that more information will be available after an autopsy today that's happening in Charleston. The department doesn't have a motive for that shooting at this time. And right now, an investigation continues after a man was found dead in a car near Lumberton High School. Robeson County officials tell us they were called to Federal Road Wednesday night. They believe 29-year-old Rafat Abdabizi was shot during an attempted robbery on Furman Drive. If you know anything about the case, please call the Lumberton Police Department.
Meanwhile, another police department is working to keep you in the know during emergency situations. Surfside Beach Police, they're now using the Nixle alert system. It gives you real-time information, but you do have to sign up for and choose how you want that information. That can be through text, email, the web, or the Nixle mobile app. The tool is free. We have the instructions posted in this story under the local page on WMBFnews.com. North Myrtle Beach, also Conway, they both use this system. A man is on the loose after a high-speed chase. Florence police say it started when officers were called to an apartment complex on West Darlington Street. That's when an officer saw a drug deal happening right across the street. The driver in the SUV took off when the police tried to approach him. The officer followed but pulled back when speeds got too high. Later, a crash was reported on Palmetto Street. The officer said it was the same SUV that he was chasing. The driver was gone when the officer arrived, but drugs were found in the car. And new details right now. The hunt is over for an escaped inmate in South Carolina. A post on the SC Department of Corrections website says H.H. King III has been found. He escaped from the Palmer Pre-Release Center in Florence sometime around 10 Thursday morning. That's a minimum level security facility. King was serving 5 years for grand larceny.
A hitchhiker here in the Palmetto State suspected of shooting 2 people along I-85. This happening on Christmas Eve. He's now in jail without bond.
Authorities say that the crime was completely random and totally senseless. Dana Watcher reports.
And I would like to have a different ending to this other than my death, because I don't like this situation. I'm just going to say that, Your Honor. That is all.
Without a lawyer on hand, John Farrell Villarreal did not express guilt or innocence at his bond hearing.
I want to say that I'm sorry that this situation exists, and I want to say that I hope that we can resolve this situation in court.
Via video screen, Anderson's magistrate judge explained the 22-year-old's 4 charges: murder, attempted murder, carjacking, and having a weapon during a violent crime.
So I think you need a death penalty.
James Crowder is the brother of Marie Fowler, who died hours after deputies say she was shot in the back of the head.
Heartless and just gunning my sister down, and this Jerry is just ridiculous. I don't know.
The second victim, James Dobson, was also shot in the head.
He shortened her life, and my son's laying up her. Well, he's in critical condition, and he's fighting for his life. And this is a senseless act.
Dobson's mother, Barbara, wants Villarreal prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Even Anderson County Sheriff John Skipper was present for the hearing after explaining Villarreal's capture and arrest at a press conference this morning.
He was standing on the side of the road in his rain suit in the rain, and they stopped to pick him up to give him a ride.
Skipper said early Christmas Eve, Villarreal first offered Dobson and Fowler $5 and then $25 for them to drive him to the Georgia state line. On the way, he asked them to pull over for him to use the bathroom.
He then pulled out his handgun, which he had on his person, and actually had a homemade silencer on it, and shot both of our victims in the back of the head.
Investigators say Villarreal left their bodies on the side of I-85 and drove to Georgia. It was the camera on a patrol car that Villarreal told deputies stopped him from shooting a Georgia trooper who pulled him over for speeding.
I don't have no feeling for somebody like that, because if he does that to them, he gets out here, he's going to do somebody else's wife, daughter, children, and somebody else will be laid the same way dead on the side of the road.
Boy, a tragic story there for sure. Changing gears just a bit now, school choice supporters will try in the upcoming session here in South Carolina to expand the state's scholarship program for students with special needs. The $8 million in state income tax credits given to donors has expired just 6 months into the fiscal year based on first-come, first-served credits toward their 2014 filings. Senators want to increase those tax credit limits. That would also increase those who are eligible to receive the scholarships from those donations. New this morning, government research is now focusing on medication to help fight alcohol abuse. The National Institutes of Health says 17 million Americans fight the problem every year. The medication would focus on blocking the brain's addiction cycle and the urge to drink in the first place.
Interesting. Well, a driver is shaken up but not hurt after hitting a bear on a highway in North Carolina. Police say a woman was driving south when a bear cub ran out in front of her SUV. That woman hit the bear cub. The accident damaged her car and killed the animal. State wildlife officials responded to the scene to collect the cub's body. A driver's new year got off to a bad start when he had an accident that destroyed his car and his home at the same time. Police in Florida say 55-year-old Ramon Macata's car hit the outside corner of the house, then spun into the garage and caught fire. According to a neighbor, Macata fell asleep at the wheel. A fire investigator said the home is a total loss because the car hit a load-bearing wall. Macata was cited for driving without a license and careless driving. No one in the home was injured.
While we celebrate falling gas prices, one billionaire says it's killing his chances to divorce his wife. We'll tell you why a massive settlement is fueling his return to court.
And our morning is starting off with the chance of rain and some clouds, but a slight warm-up is expected. All the details ahead in your First Alert forecast.